Hi there YouTube, XtremeTrainz here. So, as you can see, this is a different kind of review because for quite the first time in quite some time, I'm taking a look at one of the Thomas Minis stunt sets. Now, if you've watched my channel for a while and you've been around since the start of my channel, you know I looked at the motorized stunt set and I also looked at the original spin and twist stunt set or whichever one that was. And I thought that while they were okay, they didn't give a lot of recurring play value, particularly the unmotorized one. And that's the reason I didn't pick up the Boost and Blast playset, because I couldn't justify it for the price. However, when I was looking on Amazon Australia, they did have this available via the US store, which is complicated and weird, but thanks to the Australian government, that's how we have to do it now. And in order to get free shipping from Amazon Prime, I picked this up as well. So, this set looks to be something really interesting. I'm really curious to get it open, and as you can see, we've got into my living room, so we have a bit more space to move around and really play with this set. So, what are we waiting for? Let's do it. So I haven't seen this set really listed many places, and it certainly hasn't appeared at Australian retail yet. Australian retail seems to be a bit behind, particularly in Thomas Minis stuff. So I don't know, this probably won't come out till the start of next year here, if it comes out at all. Because Minis has been a very weird distribution pretty much since the first wave. Now, what I think is quite interesting about this is that it comes in a new designed packaging, which has that same artwork that the blind bags have. Similarly, with the new orange and blue logo, engine on the side, that's the way what the front looks like. Again, $3.99, collect them all. Come around to the side, we get a photo of this. Come around to the back, we get that classic Thomas and Friends kid playing. Interestingly, there's no Thomas merchandise in the background, which sometimes happens on these boxes, particularly with Trackmaster. There's just some random felt mats. As you can see, you've got the description up the top there. Bingo, you can see we've got all these minis. May not work with all engines. Other minis sold separately, subject to availability. Interesting stuff. And we come around to the side and we have a picture of the launching Thomas. And at the bottom, regulatory blah blah, this shows it's 2018, copyright. So, what are we waiting for? Let's do it. So really quickly, mine had a misassembly straight out of the packet. So if you rewind the video, I can't show it now, you'll see that this section on the top here had a piece of cardboard that was like this. And I was like, that's weird, why is it this way? Turns out, it should have been going this way, so this should have been in the packet like this, to show off the fact there's an exclusive figure and mini. So that's weird. But anyway, first things first, let's take a look at Thomas. Now I'm just going to unclip him from his little cape piece, which is a time and a half. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. Okay, so here he is. The Thomas exclusive to this set. Now I love getting exclusive minis, and it's one of the reasons I pick up those sets. This mini is no exception. This is a good looking mini. It's got the transparent wheels. I love the transparent. It's actually also a transparent or translucent red as well for the running board, which is cool. Then you've got Thomas in his blue, which is actually the same. I thought it was a bit lighter, but it is the same shade of blue as the normal Thomas, but it's got that kind of circus action kind of striping on it, which I think looks really nice. Yep, this is a nice Thomas. I'm a fan of it. This one is good. The next interesting thing you get is this little thing here, and this is a Sir Topham Hatt figure, and it's so weird. Interestingly, the Amazon description said Thomas said Fat Control in a wetsuit. He's not wearing a wetsuit. He's just in his normal clothes, which is good. As you can see, that's what he looks like, as he looks like underneath. He's like made of a bit of a soft plastic, so he bends a little bit, but not a lot. But just look at that face. That is such a weird Topham Hatt face. It's very, it reminds me of Thomas Wood, actually. And I'll do a comparison with Thomas Wood to Topham Hatt when I open up and do Winston's review. But yeah, that's interesting. It's cool to get this, but it's definitely a bit weird. The last thing we get in terms of minis is this cape. And the way you can see, it's got Minis written there with that nice little logo imprinted on it, which I think is actually quite nice. It's pleasantly surprising. You've got a felt kind of capey part, and then this bit here, and the way it works is you just kind of clip it on, and then it clips on, and it actually goes on. Oh, it's not even on properly right now, as you can see. There you go. It's on quite firmly, and it sits on Thomas just like that. I'll look at what that actually does for the playset in a moment. But yeah, it's a really weird way of attaching a cape to an engine. If we look at the instructions, it says, detachable from the engine but may not work with all engines. Classic. So I don't have a lot of engines here, but I'll try them with a couple of different ones that I've got. You can see, yeah, this is really interesting. It's quite hard to get on and off. I don't really know what it does. But hey, it's a thing you can do. Alright, I'm going to build this playset up. Here are the parts, just for reference, and then we're going to take it. And here is the Target Blast Stunt set out in all its glory. Now the first thing to say is this obviously looks nothing, like literally nothing like a Thomas Mini set. Or at least a Thomas and Friends set. It's obviously very not. You can see you get this here, this is a one-time clip, this is a one-time clip. Here's the target area, this is the ramp. There's a couple of clips, as you can see, to hold on to some other minis. So I'll just demonstrate that really quickly. You can see, that you just slide the minis on like this, and they will just sit on there like that. You can also, I believe, yep, here you go. Oop, that went in a bit crooked for some reason. This way. Yes, this way. You can use these little cubey bits that pop up from the thing to store your minis on the playset like so. So the way this is theoretically supposed to work is Thomas goes down the ramp, hits the target in the middle, although it does say may not fall in the tank at all times, and knocks a Topham hat from his little platform into here. So we're going to give it a red hot go. Trying to get this all in frame is going to be a bit of a struggle, so I'm just going to try and capture the most amount of the run that I can. Here we go, starting from the top. Bingo! And you can see the fireworks pop up at the top there, and that's kind of how that works. So I didn't use the there you go, that resets it like that. I didn't use the case, or the little cape, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. Let's have another go. Bingo, bullseye again. This seems like quite easy to do. Let's try it again. Whoop, there you go. Didn't make it that time. I started it from just bingo, but he made it that time. So you do have a bit of an element of, you know, mystery, intrigue. Is it going to work? Let's just try. I'm going to put on, you do this all on camera. I'm not going to pause the camera while you're low. There we go. I've clicked on, as you can see, nice and sturdy, his little cape, and let's see if that changes anything. Ah, so that's what the cape's for. Now I understand. Yeah, interesting. It also explains why there's this weird grippy surface on the front. I just thought that was meant to be kind of aesthetic, but no, it serves a purpose. Right, okay. Let's give this another go. This suddenly got a bit more interesting. There you go. So Topham falls out, but Thomas didn't stick that time. Which, okay, yes, this is starting to make a lot more sense now. Bingo. Yeah, okay. I think I'm having a bit more fun with this than I'm letting on, to be honest. Let's try out. This is the Platinum Edition Thomas. It's one of the old minis with the weight in it. So let's see what it does when it plays on the set. Here we go. Woof. That engine really goes, as you can see, it goes quite, I was worried it wasn't going to work. It wasn't getting enough momentum, but nope, I was wrong. That's good to know. I'm glad. Let's try on the cape. It's the same mold. It should fit this Thomas just as well as it fit the other one. Alright, if it just wants to work for me now. This cape is a bit fiddly, so I can imagine annoying kids if they want to quickly change their engines. Alright, here we go. Yep. Let's just see if we can get the heavier engines to stick on. That might be a weakness of this set. Yeah, I think the weight of these engines is just a little bit too much for the power of the Velcro. Yeah, I'm just trying to, like, it can, but it's not a very strong hold just because of the weight. Yep. So you're not going to get the heavier engines to stick on, which is unfortunate because that's a cool feature. But I think it's good at least they do still seem to work on the set. Now, I unfortunately don't have all my minis with me at my house. They're at my parents' house, which is where my Thomas collection is. But I do have a Clarabelle, and we're going to see firstly if we can get the... No. So the cape will not fit on Clarabelle. She is far too big. This is pretty much designed only for Thomas or Thomas-sized engines. But let's see if she works on the playset. Yep. So, you know... Oh, this is actually Annie. My bad, everyone. Someone's going to say, oh my god, it's actually Annie. Sorry, it was Annie. You can see that she does work on this set, but she doesn't wear the cape. So we'll give one more try. This is a Classics Thomas, but the non-weighted version. Here we go. Bingo! So that's that. If we just take a look at what's going on at the top here, because it has been off camera for most of this video, to kind of show you how it works. There's not a lot going on, you just push it, there's no launching mechanism, but you can see there's some grooves here, so you can kind of sit Thomas here, or, you know, starting from different places. The weighted Thomas will actually sit at the top here, so will this one apparently. You can see it sits like that, and then you just, bingo! Alright, so that's pretty much the play of this set. I don't need to show it again. Let me just talk about my final thoughts and the price. Okay, so that was the Target Blast Stunt set, Thomas Minis 2018/2019. And I actually had more fun with this set than I thought I would. I looked at it and I was like, this looks dumb. It's very non-Thomas. It's essentially Hot Wheels. Like you could have made this a Hot Wheels set, and A, would have made a lot more sense, and B, would have not been weird. Like, people would have been like, yes, this is obviously a Hot Wheels set. I can see that they're obviously trying to copy off Hot Wheels, and turn minis into kind of a bit of a jack of all trades. They're a collectible, they're trains, they're advent calendars, they're stunt sets, but they're also, you know, next year I believe there's a revealing one where it dissolves in water and you get surprise cargo. So they're really trying to just throw everything they've got at minis, which I think is an interesting approach. I don't know if it works very well, but I guess the fact they keep doing it means it must be working well. But yes, I paid $40 for this set on Amazon Australia, buying it via Amazon US. However, I obviously didn't include any shipping because I got free shipping because of Amazon Prime. So I think when this set comes to Australia, considering the Boost and Blast set retails for about $50 to $60, depending on where you buy it, I imagine this will be a $40 to $50 set. That said, I don't think this is worth the price. It just doesn't do enough. You can pay a lot of money, or this much money rather, for an Adventures set, or for a Thomas Trackmaster set, or even, heaven forbid, a Thomas Wood set. And you get something which you can play with in so many different ways. You get an exclusive engine often, you get track which you can rebuild, you can put other engines on that track and tell new stories, and do all kinds of cool stuff. You can change it up. This, as with all Thomas Mini sets, has one configuration, and it does one thing, and that's it. It doesn't do anything else. So while I think it's fun and it's cool to play with, I don't think you get your value because you just won't play with it enough to get that value from it. And while the Mini is nice and the Fat Controller Mini version is cool, I don't think that's enough to justify the price of this, particularly for a lot of kids who could get, you know, a Hot Wheels set, for example, that does a very similar thing, but it would be made of Hot Wheels parts, which can be interchanged with other sets. You can add on, you know, you can do the jump and then you can add on some track after it. You can customize it. This only works like this. There are no other configurations. So I think this, while it being fun and good, is not worth the money because it doesn't have customization, it doesn't really work with any other sets, and it also doesn't do anything except one thing. There's only one play pattern you can use with this toy, which I think is a bit unfortunate. So that's my review of this one, but I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think of the Minis playsets? I personally think they've all been a bit kind of one-trick ponies, and I still maintain that they could make a lot more money out of Minis if they made not even like even if they don't want to make proper track system, like a playmat system or something, I think would be really cool. Kids have a lot of fun with. The way they're doing it right now to me just seems very, very bizarre. But maybe that's just me being a bitter old collector. So obviously, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, guys. Really enjoy you commenting and subscribing and liking, doing all that cool stuff you do on YouTube. As always, that's what we got time for. This is XtremeTrainz.